Good evening. It's Debbie Zyskowski from Living Loving Beach to Bay. You know what we're here and inclined to do. We're going to talk about life in coastal Delaware. You know this is where I live, where I play, where I work, where I thrive, and where I'm absolutely hoping you're considering doing the same. So if you love my content, if you really are enjoying this, you can, of course, hit the subscribe button. But if you're just inclined to watch the video, I would love for you to stay along for the ride. So it is rather poignant that as I look outside, there are these wild winds and unbelievable weather changes going on. So this week's video is actually got a cute name. Don't move to Delaware if you can't handle the crazy weather. And quite honestly, this winter season 2025 has been about as crazy as you can get. 1 minute it is snowing and it is below freezing, and then wow, the next minute we've got a 30-degree swing. Well, it sounds a little unique for me asking you to reconsider whether you want to move here, but the weather is certainly a factor. We go from dramatic lows to dramatic highs and everything in between. So today is a perfect example. Today is it's February. Today is February 16th, and the day started out in the 50s. We soared to a little bit into the 60s, and in the last 30 minutes, it has plummeted 20 degrees. It is also wild and windy outside. We've had rain. We've had a little tiny bit of sunshine. But guess what's coming in 48 hours? A major storm. So they are predicting anywhere from 4 to 8 to 12. I was out to dinner with some great friends, and I actually heard someone say 14 to 18 inches. For gosh sakes, this is coastal Delaware. So that's what today's video is all about, is the highs, the lows, and everything in between. So as a reminder, can't take the crazy weather, you might not want to move to coastal Delaware. So while spring has yet to arrive, there's one way that I would really kind of put a bow on the spring season in Delaware. Don't forget the umbrella, okay? Just when you think it's not going to rain, oh my gosh, the skies open up and it does rain. So if you're looking for daffodils and you're looking for even the occasional dandelion in the grass, you are absolutely going to get rained on. And guess what that rain is going to bring? That rain is going to bring some humidity. So for someone who occasionally talks about bad hair days, the humidity in coastal Delaware, it can spike, and it can certainly spike during the spring season. So my bow on the spring season is don't forget the umbrella. And you're going to go from shorts to long pants to jackets to t-shirts to shorts again and everything in between. So spring may officially arrive on March 21st. It can arrive early in coastal Delaware. It can arrive late in coastal Delaware. But again, don't forget the umbrella. Now, there are 4 seasons, and there certainly are 4 seasons in coastal Delaware. My favorite season, and I'm not shy about saying this, is summer, okay? I like it hot. I like it sunny. I like to put my toes in the sand. I like to take that dip in the beautiful Atlantic Ocean. I love to swim in my community pool. I love to run outside in shorts and a t-shirt. I love to bike without any regard for the temperature. What does come along with those summer months? It starts with an H and it ends with a D. And you can put that all together, and it's called humidity. So yes, it does get pretty humid, pretty drippy, pretty wet, pretty heavy in coastal Delaware. But again, back to that crazy weather, the nice thing about the humidity in Delaware is that it is often accompanied by those beautiful coastal breezes. So back to that crazy weather. If you like it hot, if you like it humid, if you like a breeze, then you're going to enjoy everything about that. If you are looking for a dry climate, coastal Delaware is not for you. And while anything that is along the Atlantic Ocean or an inlet or a bay can always be prone to some flooding, and I would be, again, disingenuous if I said that it never floods in coastal Delaware. You're going to get a little bit of flooding in downtown Bethany Beach. You're going to get some flooding in Rehoboth Beach, maybe even some flooding in Fenwick. I'm really pleased to tell you that in the nearly 10 years that I've owned my home in coastal Delaware, we've never really been afflicted, and I say afflicted, by a tremendous hurricane or any of that really, kind of very damaging water, winds, etc. along the coast. Now, the beach has taken a lot of erosion and things like that, but for the most part, we have not had devastating hurricanes that have affected the East Coast here in coastal Delaware. However, what we do get is unbelievable tides. I've actually been downtown in Bethany Beach, and the next thing I know, some of the side streets are literally being run over by water that has come over the dunes, etc. And that's just the shifting and changing tides. So again, you don't like the crazy weather, coastal Delaware is not for you. It is for me, and I actually think that Mother Nature in all its beauty and glory, and even when it is a little angry and a little mad, is really an unbelievable sight to see. So there's that incredible season that comes on the heels of summer. It's called fall. It's a short little word, F-A-L-L. And the saddest thing that I can say about the fall season is it's short, and it's very short-lived here in coastal Delaware. It end of September, October, sometimes, traverses several weeks. What does it bring with it? It, of course, brings some crisper air. The humidity typically takes a back seat. Beautiful, slightly cooler temperatures. My favorite attire, and if I could wear it every day of the year, I would, is shorts and a hoodie or a sweatshirt. So that really is one of my favorite attires. But fall is short-lived here in coastal Delaware. You're going to get a little bit of a waif of pumpkins and pumpkin spice for the obvious, reasons. But most importantly, fall brings us slightly shortened days, cooler temps, less humidity, unbelievable sunrises and sunsets. But poof, it's over. And again, the crazy weather that coastal Delaware is known for arrives again. So we've talked a little bit about spring. We've talked about my favorite season, which is summer, my second favorite season, which is fall. And I'd have to say my least favorite season is winter. It's not that I don't partake in some winter sports, but let's talk about coastal Delaware winter. So as a realtor, and I'm often selling homes in communities that have HOAs, and often I will be asked by a client, well, what does that HOA cover? And I chuckle and I say, oh, it includes snow removal. And they look at me like I've got, maybe eyes in the back of my head. What do you mean, Debbie, snow removal? It doesn't snow in coastal Delaware. Well, it does. Typically, it's a flurry. Typically, it blows in and blows out, and the warm ocean breezes melt it immediately. Well, not true of 2025. We have probably had more snow. I've shoveled more snow this year than ever before. And it's not over yet. So as I started the video and as I'm kind of coming around full circle, the snow is not done. So there's another major storm headed our way on Wednesday and Thursday. And what I can tell you is that as much as I love living here, and I will never live probably anywhere else but coastal Delaware for the rest of my days, and I hope there's a lot of days left in that, but I can tell you that the snow removal is suspect. The snow removal in communities is suspect. And the snow removal by the public transportation departments is slightly suspect. It's not that they don't try. It's just that's not where the investment has been made. That's not where the infrastructure is. All of the landscaping companies that are extraordinarily busy all spring, summer, fall, then have to turn their gears towards snow removal. They absolutely work diligently at it, but they're not exceptional. So you've got to get used to slogging through a little bit of it, shoveling some of it yourself, etc. And while I chuckle and say the HOAs do cover snow removal, it is not their finest hour. So back to the crazy weather in Delaware. If you can't take the crazy weather and you're not used to the changing seasons and really a season that quickly blows in and quickly blows out, coastal Delaware is not the place for you. The final verdict. Can you handle it? I'm not sure that I've ever want to live anywhere else, and I really do not believe I do. I believe that coastal Delaware is all that I want it to be for, as I said, the rest of my days. And I hope that that is an extraordinarily long trajectory. I think it's beautiful here. Everything from the sunsets to the sunrises. And I actually love the changing seasons. So I've mentioned before that I was born and raised in New England and certainly experienced some pretty significant seasonal changes. And while the changes in Delaware are less abrupt and significant, they kind of ebb and flow. They can get wild and they can come at you fast and almost furiously. So like today, again, day that started in the 30s, the next thing you know, it's in the 50s, it's in the 60s, and then it plummets 24 degrees. It rains, the wind blew in. I saw trash cans rolling around the community. I happened to, walk outside and felt like I was even going to get blown away. That's an example. So if you can't handle it, this is not the place for you. I can. I hope you're going to consider it as well. It's a magnificent place to live. It's nature in all its beauty, all its glory, and all of its fire and brimstone, so to speak. So you want to see nature, kind of shake its angry fist. Take a look at the ocean when it's being churned up, when a tide is, really kind of accelerating, when the wind's blowing and the surf is kicking up and the sand is kind of moving as well. This is nature at its absolute finest. And yes, it is crazy. It's coastal Delaware. It's nature at its absolute best. And I don't think there's anything more beautiful. And there is nowhere else I would rather live. So you know what my call to action is. If you've enjoyed this, if you want to learn more, if you'd like to subscribe, that would be delightful. But most importantly, think about watching another video, because I've got more topics and more content. I live here, I play here, I work here, I thrive here. Coastal Delaware, there's no better place on earth.